In this podcast episode, David Senra dives deep into the relentless pursuit of excellence and the costs associated with becoming world-class in any field. The conversation explores themes of obsession, personal transformation, the significance of passion, the importance of relationships, the pitfalls of success, and reflections on learning from history and mentors. Senra candidly shares his own experiences, influences, and philosophies on work ethic, balance, and authenticity. David Senra describes his obsession with mastery as more than just a habit, it's an addiction. He rejects the idea of balance, expressing that to be the best in the world at something requires an all-consuming focus. His concept of greatness is not incremental improvement but exponential, being potentially 1,000 times better than just pretty good. Mediocrity, he explains, remains invisible until passion illuminates and exposes it. This intense pursuit often makes him intolerant of anyone who approaches their work casually or without dedication. Senra reflects on the double-edged nature of self-criticism in the lives of high performers. Initially, a harsh inner voice drove him relentlessly towards achievement, rooted in a feeling of inadequacy and a desire to prove himself against his origins. This revenge for being born mentality was a catalyst in his earlier phases, fueled by delusional confidence and a refusal to accept limits. Over time, however, he recognizes that negative self-talk can be harmful and has begun reframing his approach toward a more positive and sustainable mindset to maintain effectiveness without burnout. The episode frequently references various historic and contemporary figures who influenced Senra's worldview. He admires people like Ed Thorpe, the genius mathematician and investor who led a balanced life despite immense achievements, and Michael Dell, whose youthful audacity to compete with IBM exemplifies necessary delusion and optimism in entrepreneurship. Bruce Springsteen's autobiography also inspired reflections on personal transformation, while Jared Kushner and Jimmy Iovine represent the value of brutally honest friends who challenge complacency. Senra stresses that as one improves and gains access to other high achievers, the quality of associations shapes success. He reveals his longtime lie to himself, that he didn't need others, ultimately acknowledging that close, high-quality relationships have become essential. The connections made through his podcast, especially deeper friendships formed over years, underscore the fundamental human need for authentic bonds beyond professional accomplishments. He contrasts this necessity with the loneliness often found in the pursuit of greatness. While obsession drives achievement, the podcast also explores the concept of balanced living, exemplified by icons like Ed Thorpe, who prioritized health, family, and fun alongside work. Senra admits he once yearned for balance, but now embraces excess in his professional life, applying Edwin Land's mantra that anything worth doing is worth doing to excess. Yet, the experiences of people like Bruce Greenstein reveal that neglecting relationships can lead to deep personal struggles and depression, highlighting the complexity of managing passion with life's other demands. A recurring motif is Senra's commitment to authenticity, both in himself and through his podcast interviews. He rejects superficiality and carefully curated public personas, craving genuine conversations where people reveal their true selves, including flaws and failures. This openness extends to admitting regrets, struggles with relationships, and confronting personal demons, oxygenating long-hidden tensions and allowing for growth. Senra's refusal to filter himself, even at the risk of making others uncomfortable, reinforces his philosophy of living and working without dichotomies. A large part of Senra's approach is rooted in voracious reading, particularly biographies and histories that distill lessons from the lives of extraordinary individuals. Books serve as a foundation for understanding human nature, strategic thinking, and patterns of success and failure over time. He reads strategically, seeking not only inspiration but also cautionary tales to avoid common mistakes. This deep historical knowledge informs his perspectives on entrepreneurship, podcasting, and life balance, adding rich depth to conversations and decision-making. For those seeking purpose, Senra advises cultivating ungovernable curiosity and being brutally honest about what one truly wants. Rather than external validation or chasing numbers, following intrinsic interests is crucial. He recounts meeting seemingly unrelated entrepreneurs like Todd Graves, who built a chicken finger empire, emphasizing that success comes from being authentically invested in what you do, irrespective of others' opinions. He cautions against settling for passionless pursuits and advocates for persistent exploration until one uncovers work that genuinely excites. Drawing from conversations with seasoned entrepreneurs and creatives, Senra outlines 4 common traps that can derail careers: substance abuse, destructive relationships, poor associations, and megalomania. Using examples like Eddie Murphy, who avoided drugs but struggled with personal issues, Senra highlights the importance of surrounding oneself with high-quality people across every domain. Megalomania, or inflated self-importance, is particularly insidious, leading to disconnection from reality and eventual collapse once effort and humility are abandoned. Having built his career through podcasting, Senra reflects on the challenges and opportunities in the medium. He discusses the evolution from limited audience sizes and traditional ad networks to discovering subscription models and leveraging back catalogs as valuable assets. Emphasizing the importance of authenticity and frequency, he parallels Oprah's success in building parasocial relationships, demonstrating how consistent, meaningful presence can create deep bonds with an audience. Senra also touches on the skepticism some have about media monetization and expresses confidence in remaining accessible and free. Senra finds immense value in learning directly from older, experienced individuals, contrasting it with the superficiality often found on social media platforms. He lauds figures like Felix Dennis, whose candidness about personal vices and success offers rare insights unavailable from younger entrepreneurs still on the rise. Long-term learning shapes perspectives beyond tactics to focus on living a meaningful life, enabling one to steer life's ship rather than fix every engine detail. This emphasis on wisdom and experience is foundational to Senra's approach. When asked about his ideal advisory board, Senra blends historical titans with contemporary figures. He names Rockefeller for his business acumen and integrity, Munger for his wisdom, Edwin Land for innovation and personal ethos, Steve Jobs for product mastery, and Daniel Ek, the founder of Spotify, as his primary living advisor, praising Ek's philosophical insight, honesty, and impact on Senra's drive to expand into video and new media forms. This select group reflects Senra's preference for depth, authenticity, and long-term influence. Senra echoes Daniel Ek's view that optimizing for impact rather than happiness leads to fulfillment. He explains that creating value for others, even when only capturing a small fraction of it personally, brings a deeper sense of purpose. He is motivated by feedback, showing how his work has changed lives, even if intangible. This pragmatic acceptance of imperfection, combined with relentless focus on improvement, underpins his continued drive and influence. Throughout the conversation, Senra grapples with change and his own evolving mindset. From rejecting the old lies he told himself to embracing video despite initial resistance, he stresses the importance of adapting one's behavior in light of new information without fear. He rejects complacency and stagnation, committed to continuous refinement of thought, process, and relationships. This openness forms a core principle that guides his approach to life and work. Senra's media philosophy centers on having deep, unfiltered conversations rather than polished interviews. He values moments where people reveal their authentic selves, where vulnerability and honesty replace superficiality. By building genuine relationships with guests over time and focusing on what truly matters to them, he creates a platform that transcends traditional media, blurring the line between work and friendship, learning and entertainment. Finally, Senra highlights the power of time as the ultimate filter for greatness. Success emerges from years of relentless work, study, and refinement. He notes that many admired entrepreneurs found their path later in life, contrasting with those who seem to discover passion early. Patience, discipline, and a willingness to outwork others over decades are recurring themes, reinforcing that there are no shortcuts to mastering any craft or building a legacy.